Roy A.G. Reginald Adams. Conley Bird. Alfred Carroll.
Here.
Melanie Dumas.
Here.
Brenda Bishop Gaddy.
Here.
Ted Harden.
Here.
Danny Holcomb.
Here.
Cedric Jackson.
Here.
Patricia Roy Johnson.
Here.
Reginald Johnson.
Here.
Marguerite Williams.
Judge.
Oh, don't start, Justice Carroll. We're not. I'm not here to be bombarded with questions. If you have questions, ask your committee chair.
Well, Mr. Chairman,
Justice Carroll. Justice Carroll. Justice Carroll. Justice Carroll. Let me finish, please.
you told me to address the chair.
Now we'll have the report of the committees, starting with Human Resource Committee, and it's Justice Danny Holcomb. Go ahead, Justice Holcomb.
Mr. Chairman.
All the members of my committee are present, so we have two items on the agenda. The first is an appropriation order to provide a supplemental appropriation to fund 1,000 county general, county judge.
We pass it on to the finance committee and do pass recommendation.
Got a motion? Second? Any questions from the committee? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Second item on the agenda is appropriating orders to provide a transfer and appropriation of funds within Fund 2000 roads.
Move for adoption.
I second. We pass it on to the finance committee and do pass.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion from the committee?
Hey, I got some.
Okay.
Mr. Holcomb, this time last year, we talked about getting some people hired for the road department because we had some equipment that was just sitting.
Yes, sir.
So this time of year, we done laid off 10 workers, so what's the purpose of us transferring money from the people that we had left over?
I would assume that's to pay bills that need to be paid. I mean, we had to lay the people off, and I think it was explained, the reason why was because of the fact that the county dropped in as far as our census is concerned, which dropped the classification of our county, and the funding that we thought we were going to get, the amount of funding was much less than what we first thought it was going to be. So to make sure that we fell within the lines of the budget, we had to remove those slots. So they're wanting to appropriate that to pay additional bills.
So towards the end of the year, we had appropriated money, so if we see by us being the 5th month of the year, how do we appropriate money already? I mean, we creating bills and we down on revenue, kind of confused.
All I can tell you is what's on the agenda and what they're asking to do. You can either vote it for it or vote it down, one or the other. I don't have those answers. And that's a wow. You can wow if you want to, but that's the answer. Well, because you're wowing me, okay? Just right to start off with. You're not on the committee anyway. I've had a motion and a second. All those, yes.
I think, correct me, the money we appropriated at the end of the year last year, all that money, it was already spent, because we didn't pay bills all year long. So now that we're in the new year, we're not appropriating money for the road department this year. So by the time they got called up, the money was tight. So it wasn't, as far as I remember, I don't think we could appropriate anything. I'm telling you, these county roads are getting awful.
Yeah, we're not trying to appropriate new funds. We're just moving from one line item to the other in this particular issue. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, I specifically asked, when we hired those additional 4 people, we hired 4 people. And Mr. Bullock told us that he needed $200,000. We gave him that $200,000. And then they, right around, within a few months, lay off 10. I have a problem with that.
Okay.
Wow.
You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't remember coming and asking us for 4 additional people that you wanted to hire?
I remember that, but I don't remember what you know about.
You asked for, you're asking $300,000 in the road department for that. They can tell you for the road department.
Do we have any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
No.
And we have a roll call. Let me have the list down there if you can. Do what?
Roll call your committee.
Roll call on my committee. Yeah, just you have the list down there so I can call them off and get the yeas and nays. Okay. Roy Agee. Conley Bird.
Yes.
Brenda Bishop Gaddy.
No.
Ted Harden.
Yes.
Cedric Jackson.
No.
Pat Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 4 yeas and 2 nays, and motion passes. That's the end of my committee report. I think next is Patricia Royal Johnson.
Judicial Committee's called to order. Then Holcomb, Conley, Bird, Ted, Hardroy, A.G. Reginald Adams, Marguerite Lee. An appropriation ordinance to provide an appropriation to Fund 1000 County General, 50D.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Question? All in favor?
Aye.
Hold it. This ends.
That concludes.
This is it.
experienced that reduction in county rating back at the last census. When all the salary increases of $20,000 and $50,000 came across our table, I said something about that we're still spending like a Class 6 county and we are Class 5. But that didn't stop us from doing what we did, and I find it less than genuine for someone to suggest that those 10 individuals that were laid off by the road department is a result of the census and the change of classification of the county back in the 2020 census. So I'm just, that would not be accurate from my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Carroll.
May I address that just briefly? I only listed that as one of the items that was listed and given to us as an explanation for why the slots had to be eliminated. That wasn't the whole reason, but it was listed in the memorandum that we received for the justification of why the slots were eliminated.
Right, and those employees that were laid off till the end of the year. And I understand they'll be rehired at the first of the year. Anyway, we have the ordinance before us. Do we have a motion to second or not? Okay, all in favor say aye.
We got discussion. We're not rushing this through.
I'm calling the question. We've already discussed it.
You can't call the question. We got a question.
What else have we got to question? What else question you have?
He's got a question, I got a question.
You got a question? I didn't have to see your hand earlier. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you looked up.
I just didn't see it.
Well, look, it seems like we keep getting asked to move money, transfer money, do this, do that. No explanation. And then the road people were here and they mysteriously had another meeting to attend like it was more important. So
Apparently they got an emergency call. I don't know.
Yeah, at 5 o'clock. But that has to end. We're not going to vote for this if there's no explanation.
Okay. Then we'll call the roll. All in favor say aye.
Chair, I know you.
Oh, go ahead. Thought you had already addressed everything.
Listen, they came in here last year and asked for 4 slots. I didn't agree with it, I gave it to them. They asked for a numerous amount of money, we gave it to them. When he asked them then, we gave him those 4 slots last year, we asked, was it sustainable? He wouldn't answer the question then. Now here we are where he laid off 10 people. And it wasn't laid off because of disbursements. It was laid off because he spent 40-some% of his budget in the first 90 days of the year. You can't spend through your budget that fast. It's physically irresponsible. That's what he did, and that's why he put himself in the situation that he's in. Now you're telling me that we're gonna transfer funds from payroll to maintenance and operations to cover expenses that nobody's here to explain. There's no expenses presented to us. This is the same county judge that spent $1 million over his appropriations last year illegally. He just created $1 million in invoices and brought it to the Quorum court with a gun to our head saying, if you don't pay these invoices, the vendors are gonna sue. He doesn't stay within his budget. He doesn't explain anything in his budget. He's had $1 million more than every county judge almost every year that he's been in office, and yet the county roads are in worse shape in the history of Jefferson County. Now he's wanting us to move money. There's not a budget in front of us telling how it's going to be spent. And personally, I need to see a budget of how he's going to spend and make it out the rest of the year, because we're not going to keep playing this musical chairs and having a gun to our head to approve money that we don't have. We couldn't even bail him out to save those 10 employees because he's blown through the county reserve with bills that he created and wasn't supposed to. Nobody's here to speak to it, so we can't vote for this.
Justice Franklin, you've been noted. Justice Johnson, Tricia Johnson.
I think one of the things we keep saying, I know all departments, we didn't pay bills last year. We know that we didn't pay bills last year. I don't know why the road.
That's a lie. We paid bills. Don't lie.
Let's don't argue across the table.
Justice Franklin, I did not interrupt you. And bills were behind last year. The vendors kept coming here asking for their money. So the vendors did not, if they wouldn't have been here asking for money if we had been paying them. And you know that we didn't pay bills. That vendors were here at every meeting we had saying that they weren't getting paid. Now, anybody that says that's not the truth. And all I'm saying, in my comment that I make, we wait and we get here to the committee meeting before we have our packets. And anything that we want to know, I go, and when I'm curious about something, I go, I check it, I find out. This is not the time, because in the committee meeting, we want to ask the road people, like you said, they're not here. Whatever reason they went out, I don't know why they went out, it doesn't bother me. Somebody said you got to go, you got to go. But the thing about it, if we don't want it, we go to the road department, we go to the judge's office, we sit there, and he says all the time, if you want to know something, how many of you all actually went there to see? Nobody. But you keep saying, I want to see, but go there and tell them, I want to see. I agree. If you want to see anything I want to see, I go get it. And I go there, and you show it to me. And so if you want to see it, go there. If you can't show it to you, it makes sense. If you can't show it to you. But you haven't went there. And another thing with the money that we got, we were classified as a 5, but they didn't cut us out. They didn't cut our money off until I think the last year. But they cut our money. They didn't put us there with the money at first before they cut us down.
Justice Johnson.
I just want to say publicly that I disagree with you. That information is supposed to be included in the pack. We're not supposed to have to go to his office to hunt down.
No, I didn't say that. No, I said you don't understand. You say you don't understand.
It's supposed to be included.
Okay, so that's what I said.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's all I said.
Yes.
Well, mine was similar. I was gonna say, we don't have to go to anybody else's office to find that out because they include it in when they're asking for the money.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
kind of.
okay, but I thought you said you didn't understand it, because
No,
I know we had it last time.
I
We
didn't
had
say I
it
didn't
before, and they
understand
said they didn't understand, so that's what I said, if you don't understand something,
Yeah.
if you don't
Okay.
No,
understand.
mine was that.
Okay,
I
that you
don't
didn't see it, okay, that's fine, but if you say you don't, but see, the word was I don't understand. So if you don't
Okay,
understand something, then they
okay,
explain, if you don't see
okay,
it, that's a different
let's not
story, and I
argue.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Wasn't in the
Got Justice Gaddy, and then we're gonna call for the question.
Okay, so that's, and at this time, we
As I before stated, I was talking to Mr. Bullock. And it seems like he done went ghost on us. He don't remember anything. I'm right behind me. Everybody on this panel know that he said that $200,000 would sustain him. Everybody on this panel, they know that. He said that. Because I asked the question, and he said, yeah. But now he said he don't remember that.
Well, he's not here, I don't know.
yeah.
Okay.
What
Well,
do you mean you don't know?
I said, he's not here, I don't know if he remembered it or not. You said he doesn't remember it. I don't know if he does or not.
She said
Okay.
Justice Bullock.
That was Bullock. Excuse me,
Bullock.
I'm
Okay.
still talking.
Yeah, that was good.
Bullock. I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
And y'all know that this is not right. And then lay off 10 people? These peoples have a family, I'm sure. I don't know any of them. But that's our job to make sure. You know, it just doesn't seem right to me.
Okay.
And that's my opinion.
All right, that's valid, and this will be the last comment, so Justice Franklin, go ahead, let's just bring this to a head.
I'm hearing all this talking, and I just heard a statement that apparently they cut our funding because of the class county that we're in. If your funding is cut because of the class county that you're in, and you're telling me that revenues, aside from the projected revenues that came from the treasurer, that has been true for the past 25, 30 years, have always been spot on, you're telling the Quorum Court that revenues are gonna be shorter this year because we reduced the class. So that tells me that revenues are gonna be short next year. So if they're gonna be short this year and next year and going forward, because the population in this county is not increasing, how are you gonna hire these people back January 1st? How does that work? Make that make sense?
Okay, that's noted. But, all right, we've had enough discussion, and I'm gonna, I think I know where it's going. So we can either vote to table it, or we can vote up or down. So all in favor say aye.
No.
Any opposed, no.
He said aye. I said aye.
Any opposed, no. Okay. Let me call roll. AG.
Point of information, Mr. Chair.
I'm calling roll now, right now. Dagey,
Yes.
Adams, Reginald Adams. Byrd.
Yes.
Eric Carroll.
No.
Melanie Dumas.
No.
Brenda Gaddy,
No.
Holcomb,
Yes.
Jackson,
No.
Patricia Johnson,
Yes.
Reginald Johnson,
No.
and Marguerite Williams.
No.
Okay.
Same as the last. Paper.
Okay, motion fails. So we'll go on to item number 3. That's the judicial committee. Judicial committee forwarded this to the finance committee for due pass recommendation. It's an appropriation ordinance to provide appropriation to fund 1,000 county general 5th division. What's your pleasure? Okay, I have a motion moving on to the full court with a due pass and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Ayes carried, motion passes. We are now, the finance committee is adjourned. I've already adjourned.
May I ask you a question?
I've already adjourned.
May I ask you a question?
You can ask me a question.
When are we going to deal with the audit, sir? Since you're still serving as chair of the finance committee, when are we gonna deal with the audit? We got a new audit, this is the 4th one. And I believe the cover letter stated that.
That'll come up with the county judge will address that. You know, I've got that on the agenda myself to address that Monday night.
It doesn't say the county judge, it says the Quorum court, the letter.
I know, I said he's gonna have to, he'll answer the questions. I mean, it's sent to us, but he'll answer the questions. So we are adjourned.
We got the second committee meeting. All right. Committee meeting of the Quorum Court, Finance Committee, calling it to order.
Finance committee.
3 items on the agenda. Item number 1 is appropriation ordinance to provide a supplemental appropriation to fund 1850 style Benz fund.